Welcome back to Rocket Rabbit Commentaries commentary of Minish Cap. We are starting off the Temple of Droplets.
Yeah, and Eslo was kind enough to stop us, stop time, but he wasn't kind enough to kill the momentum before he was done.
Now, Temple of Droplets is honestly a rather interesting Zelda dungeon. It is effectively the water dungeon of Minish Cap, except it's actually the ice dungeon. Minish Cap, if we're going to count this as the ice dungeon, then Minish Cap doesn't actually have a water dungeon.
Well, ice is frozen water. Look at all that water.
A lot of your travels through Temple of Droplets will be based around this particular mechanic, where you have to allow sunlight into the area in order to melt ice obstacles.
Interesting. Then you drop down in sheer terror. Boom, you did it.
It is a small key, and it is our job as Demon the Ice Pusher to open up the small key, like so.
Oh, so the sunlight didn't melt the surface of the ice, but it did melt that ice block.
Yes. It's very video gamey, I know, but that's okay.
It's so bright outside, but I'm so comfortable in here. Please leave me to my darkness.
So it's new in the world of Cloud.
I was telling you yesterday that I finally saw the movie adaptation of Atlas Shrugged.
All right.
Which is actually taking each part of, because Atlas, for those of you who are not aware, Atlas Shrugged is like a 1,000 page novel. It is fucking gigantic, and I took it upon myself to read the whole thing from start to finish, and I've only started part 3, which is 643 pages into the book. The movie adaptations apparently do a part-by-part adaptation, so you don't see the whole story back to front in the movie. You have to see each individual part of the book. I thought I looked at the fucking color gradient that they were using. It's so colorful.
It is, honestly. Atlas Shrugged has got a lot of very interesting color design.
Because, I remember the imagery from the book, especially with the Reardon metal, which is supposed to be like a bluish-green, magic metal. But other than that, I mean, there's Wyatt's torch at the end of part 1. That's an oil field that's been burst into flames that actually remains burning for a couple years. But other than that, there are no real color images that come to mind. A lot of it is very abstract, which begs the question as to how the fuck they got into a movie in the first place.
So this puzzle that we're doing here is to get the boss key. Do not be fooled. We're not anywhere near close to finishing this dungeon.
Yeah, which is very odd that they're giving us the boss key this early.
But now we must close off the light source.
Aww. Alright, I guess it's time to play Outlast. Here come the goons.
I've got no experience with Outlast, actually.
I've only seen playthroughs of it. You're in a mental asylum, so you use a video camera with a darkness filter. Not a darkness filter. It lets you see in the dark.
It sounds a lot like the old. There was an old N64 game, not Fatal Frame. Maybe it was Fatal Frame, but you were walking around in an environment. It was dark out, and you were this teenage girl that was supposed to use this camera in order to fend off the ghosts.
Yes.
I don't think that was actually called Fatal Frame, but I don't remember what it was actually called.
There were a lot of games like that. I think Fatal Frame popularized it from Japan, and then there were a lot of little derivatives that follow similar lines. Outlast is like you never I don't think you ever actually attack like the inmates of the asylum. I think the goal is to just hide when they catch you and stay alive.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But again, I've only ever seen playthroughs of that game, and oh, that was pretty funny. Some of the best commentaries are on the really scary games, because then you get to see candid reactions from the people recording them.
Yep. Mind you, I personally don't have any significant attachment to horror game commentaries. I'd much rather actually be playing the horror game myself.
Are you partial to scary games, Gerda?
Not really. I mean, I did play through like the first third, maybe first half of the first Amnesia game, and I'm like, yeah, this is actually pretty good and scary. But the whole reason why Amnesia was scary to me was the god fucking oppressive atmosphere.
Well, atmosphere is half of the battle.
Yeah. Yay, small key. But honestly, I didn't find the actual story of Amnesia enough to keep me going through it. And a lot of people were telling me that the story in Amnesia is just as dark as the atmosphere was, and I'm like, no, it really isn't. I mean, yes, the story is dark, certainly, but I feel for both sides on this argument here.
The story of horror games normally delve into like mental illness or other just very depraved behaviors on the part of the characters.
I shot a fly at another fly.
You made a fly sandwich.
No, there wasn't any middle ingredient.
The middle ingredient was their guts.
I don't want to eat a fly sandwich made out of guts.
Well, it's not made of guts. It's made of fly, and then fly guts.
That does not sound appetizing, Mr. Cloud.
It is not terribly appetizing unless you live in like Cambodia or some shit. We are ignorant white Americans. What is an insect buffet?
Well, you say that, but I'd be willing to at least try an insect buffet. I probably wouldn't enjoy myself, but I'd be willing to try it.
You could roast them.
I know that you can roast them. There's also methods of frying them.
Frying them. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. When you said fried, I immediately thought like battered and fried. I can. Like, imagine just taking a bunch of flies and like dipping them in the fucking wet batter and then put them in the fryer later. Which would work. I can't guarantee that you could really tell what the fuck it is, but it would work.
And in the event that we're actually supposed to be paying attention to what we're like watching here, this part of the dungeon is all about maneuvering this lily pad around so that we can actually go through the dungeon. Sad.
Yes, but of course, it's shooting even more flies.
Yes.
Oh, so you can just walk onto the ice. You know what I don't really care for is that the game makes a very like stern distinction between when you're swimming and when you can actually get onto physical platforms like this ice. Mm-hmm. Because the only way, because like you can go into the ice, you can go from the ice to the water, no problem. But to get from the water to the ice, you have to find shallow water. Shit, that I don't really understand.
And I hope you're ready for more Pokemon Ice puzzles.
Oh, I am all about the ice puzzles. So it's reminding me of, well, right now it's reminding me of the Ice Cavern from Ocarina of Time.
And there we go.
Yay. Yay, we can go on the lily pad. Poof, 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 poof.
No, we don't have the flame lantern yet, so we can't open that chest.
Spoilers!
Oh, yes.
Spoilers,
we don't
I
have
say.
the spoilers yet, so we can't open that chest.
My virgin ears do not know what you mean. Give me the goods. Ow. Goods gotten.
There we are. No!
Is that...
Momentum. Oh, speaking of momentum, I've been playing a bit of Shovel Knight recently, and I don't understand why people think that Plague Knight's the best character in that game. Clearly, the best boss fight is actually Propeller Knight, despite how difficult it is.
Oh, I thought that would make a boss fight good, is that it's difficult.
Well, yes, but the thing that makes Plague Knight popular, or at least so far as I know, is that he doesn't have a readily discernible pattern. So that's supposedly what makes Plague Knight difficult. Although it only took me 2 tries to take down Plague Knight, whereas it took me 4 tries to take down Propeller Knight. And Propeller Knight was the first boss fight where I really felt I had to actually use my sub-weapons. I mean, I used them during Plague Knight, certainly, but I didn't feel really the need to use them against Plague Knight. Here we have yet more of the giant scissor beetles, or normal scissor beetles, because we are Minish.
So this is a mini boss.
Yep.
But we've already seen these creatures.
Yep. There's yet another mini boss in this dungeon, just so you know.
Oh. So this isn't really the mini. It's like mini boss A.
Yeah, this is mini boss A, the group of scissor beetles.
I was going to say on your shovel Knight comments that it's more interesting, I think, when the bosses don't have like very identifiable patterns, because then you have to improvise. Because yeah,
I suppose, but at the same point, there's not really a lot of improvisation that you can make during the Plague Knight fight.
it was more like maybe experimentation is a closer to what I mean, like because otherwise, once you figure out the enemy's pattern, all you're doing is shoehorning that pattern into the strategy you've been using most of the time while you were playing. Or at least that's what happens for me.
Yeah. Shovel Knight does actually have a lot of that. Recognize the pattern to win, but I honestly think that it's more about I use the term Mega Man 2 a lot when I'm referring to Shovel Knight, because it really does feel very much like Mega Man 2. Without the super cheap crash bomb room, because that room can go fuck itself.
The crash bomb room. This is new.
Kind of.
Huh. It's weird that it took them until 2004 to try doing something like that. I think the lack of commentary also, the lack of like on video commentary also stems from that. We haven't, besides the ice physics, we haven't really seen that many new mechanics.
True.
It's a very like, it's a good looking dungeon.
Yes. Unfortunately, this dungeon has a similar problem with a lot of other Zelda Ice dungeons, that there are a shit ton of floors in this dungeon, and you end up having to go back and forth for one particular event over and over again.
Yeah, like, for example, you had to come back down here because now that you let the sunlight down, now you can open the trap that let you get to the switch that opened the sunlight.
Yep. Another small key.
Yay. And in the next part, we proceed further through the Temple of Droplets.
Yes. Although we still got a whole 10 seconds left, Cloud. You're a bit early.
Well, it's because we normally use the time towards the end, like I'm doing right now.
Ah. Alright then. Be safe, everyone.